Today, the city of Pittsburgh, as it does every 2 years, begins a new journey with new leadership on deck and a new course for our future. For me, this journey began more than a year ago with an empty campaign account, a few volunteers, and a lot of determination. But it really began with my family. My parents, Helena and John, my Aunt Barbara Rudiak, and my Uncle Michael Rudiak. You have always supported me with your commitment to me, to the campaign, and to the city of Pittsburgh always blew everyone away, and I could not imagine having done this without you. Thank you so much. I also want to thank the members of my family who couldn't be here today. For those of you who don't know, my mother is from Poland. She was born there. My grandmother, who is 79 years old today, barely finished second grade before our family's village was occupied by the Nazis and she was forced to drop out of school. She could never imagine and still cannot fathom that her granddaughter is the first woman elected to Pittsburgh City Council District 4. And although my family is an ocean away, I know that they are here in spirit. In many ways, my family embodies the essential Pittsburgh story. We came from far away looking for a new life and new opportunities. We struggled to work and save and make ends meet. We toiled in the steel mills and the coal mines of Pennsylvania. And we built this city from the ground up, always thinking of our children and our children's children. In fact, Father Jack O'Malley, who was giving the benediction later today, actually baptized me as a child. This continuity, this Pittsburgh story, my loved ones who surround me, and the experiences and the values that they instilled in me are my compass. They are my guide through tough times and tough decisions, and they have given me incredible foundation and support that have brought me here today. I love you all, and I thank you so much. I am so blessed. I also want to thank my staff for their hard work over the last year, and of course all those who supported me, including the SEIU, UFCW, Wafers, PFT, Sierra Club, Stonewall, Young Democrats, the list goes on and on. Thank you so much. You know who you are, and I do thank you.
I like that part.
I also want to thank all the members of council for your gracious advice and support during my transition. I have spoken with each one of you, and your guidance has been invaluable to me and my staff during this time. It has been support that I will not soon forget, and I thank you. To Mayor Ravenstahl, the local delegation to the Pennsylvania legislature, our countywide elected officials, and the invaluable city workers, from department directors all the way to the village crew, I have enjoyed working with you through my time as a community leader and council member in transition, and I look forward to working with you closely in the future. On the campaign, we started small, but we dreamt big. From our tiny office in Brookline, we knocked on doors for hours and hours every day, through the bitter cold Pittsburgh winter into the rainy spring. I met thousands of my neighbors, and I learned so much about the communities where I grew up and where I called home. The gift that my neighbors gave me was the peace of mind and clarity of purpose to help lead Pittsburgh into a new future, filled with opportunities for every Pittsburgher to grow and succeed. I will carry this gift with me every day as your Council 4 council member, District 4 council member. And in return, I promise to continue the conversations from your front porches to the 5th floor here on Grand Street. I will try to inspire you. I will ask you to be involved, to pick up a broom and work in your neighborhood, to organize your neighbors, and to even come down to this very chamber and hold all of our feet to the fire. I ask you to be inspired and to help build a better Pittsburgh with us. There were countless stories from the campaign of people who stepped up and decided to make a difference in our communities, but one in particular stands out. One day, a man walked into the campaign office and just wanted some information about my candidacy. His name was Jack. I talked to him for a little while, and he told me that while he no longer lives in Pittsburgh, he ran a community-oriented nonprofit. So I asked him if he wanted to volunteer for us, and after talking to me, he did. And he came back again and again. What I said to Jack is what I've said to so many of my friends and neighbors over the last 2 years. I asked to be a partner in our city, to be a Pittsburgher once again, and to be inspired to ask more of our our political leadership and of our community. I had coffee with Jack a few weeks ago, and I was actually surprised to learn that he was so inspired by that message and by our campaign that he mounted a grassroots campaign of his own. And I'm pleased to say that on November 5th, the Borough of Carnegie elected a great new mayor in Jack District, and the City of Pittsburgh gave a great new partner in the effort for regional cooperation. I'm asking people like Mayor Ludiak to be inspired, to ask more of our leadership in our communities. And now is the time to step up and be heard. You're coming off elections where only a small fraction of Pittsburghers even showed up to vote. And it's unfortunate that we have no one to blame but ourselves. By keeping their votes in their pockets, the people of Pittsburgh have sent us a powerful message that we must do better. We must do a better job of attracting new businesses and new opportunities. We must do a new job of tearing down abandoned housing and protecting our neighborhoods from crime and neglect. We must do a better job of showing people how to interface with city government so we can all take ownership of it and start organizing for our own communities. This is our challenge, to build a better Pittsburgh, house by house, street by street, and block by block. It will not be easy. This hard work will not be done in 1 week or 1 year or even 1 term, but it must be done for our city and our future. We have received lavish praise from the national media for the progress we have made, there's no doubt about that. But people are still voting with their feet and moving out of our city, and we must fight this epidemic with every ounce of our spirit. We must be a city that is praised not only by Forbes magazine, but is cherished by the sons and daughters of the great men and women who built this city with their bare hands and with raw determination. All across this nation, Americans are struggling. The job losses have been staggering and foreclosures unbearable. It's important to remember that this economic climate has beat down so many American workers. How many families have been displaced? How many parents have lost their jobs? And what were the holidays like for our neighbors or even for ourselves? All across this country, big cities are hurting too, just like Pittsburgh. Cuts in state revenue, crumbling infrastructure, neighborhood destabilization, these are national problems. But the city who solves them first will become America's next great urban center, our nation's next great story of renewal and of hope and of change. And so we must tackle these issues with a zeal that is unmatched and a vigor that is unparalleled. Pittsburgh needs a reawakening, and all of us here today must lead it. So when we talk about bringing investments to our neighborhoods, let us not forget the Pittsburgh families who will benefit. Because it's Pittsburghers who will build the buildings and pave the roads. It's Pittsburghers who will clean the offices and provide service to our guests. It's Pittsburghers who will come home from a hard day's work with food on the table and a heated house in which to tuck their children in at night. When we talk about public safety, we aren't just talking about abstract statistics and pie charts. We're talking about building healthy and attractive neighborhoods where families can settle and grow. Places that will offer stability and safety so children can navigate the challenging adolescent worlds of school and social life without also having to navigate the cultures of gang violence and drugs. When we talk about our parks, we aren't just talking about patches of grass, but real investments that make our neighborhoods fun destinations for young families. I actually had a constituent tell me that a tired kid is a happy parent, so we need a lot of tired kids and happy parents out there. These are investments that will increase our tax revenue and give our children a safe place to play. And finally, when we talk about transparency, it's not some pawn in a gotcha game of politics. It's a way to give Pittsburghers information about how our government works so we can take ownership of our communities and work to bring investments and change on our own. Let us move forward with this new council and with this charge to build a better Pittsburgh, street by street, and block by block, and house by house. Let us work to inspire our friends and our neighbors to build this city from the ground up and make it America's next story of renewal and of hope. But above all, let us work together to bring investments to our neighborhoods that we deserve. Thank you.